It was one of those mornings that hit you like a punch in the chest, cold enough to make your teeth ache, with a sky so gray it looked like the world was holding its breath, waiting for something to snap, and maybe, just maybe, that's exactly what was about to happen. I'm telling you, if anyone tells you fate doesn't have a sense of timing, they never met the Langley family or the horse that saved a life. Let me back up a sec. Picture this. A shiny black car, too expensive for this sleepy riverside road, gliding in before sunrise, and inside, a man with a face so tight you could mistake him for a statue, and a little girl in the back seat gripping a battered teddy bear like it's the only anchor she's got left. That's Victor Langley and his daughter Lily. Only 5, but you'd never guess it from the way she sat, silent, her knuckles white against that old stuffed bear. They pull up next to the water, trees, standing tall and silent like they're witnesses to something they'd rather not see. Victor gets out, pops the trunk, and yanks out Lily's wheelchair, his hands shaking just a bit, not from the cold, but from something meaner, something like desperation. Lily, quiet as a ghost, finally whispers, "Daddy, why are we here so early?" Her voice barely makes it through the fog. Victor snaps back, quiet, sharper than he meant, but you could see in his eyes he wasn't all there. Not really, not that morning. While he fiddles with the chair, cursing under his breath, this chestnut horse over by the fence lifts its head, ears twitching, eyes fixed on them like it knew. Right then, something ugly was about to go down. Victor doesn't notice, doesn't care, just wheels Lily to the dock and helps her into a rowboat, his eyes scanning the riverbanks to make sure no one's watching. The river's running high from all that rain, swollen and angry, with planks creaking under their weight. Lily whispers again, "I don't want to go on the boat today, Daddy. It's too dark." But Victor's already pushing off, the oars slicing cold water, his jaw clenched so tight you'd think he was chewing glass. The horse is still watching, tail flicking, nostrils flaring, and I swear, some part of me wants to believe animals really do know things before we do. Victor rows out to the middle, the current yanking at the boat, and stops. For a second, there's just the sound of water slapping wood and Lily's soft breathing, like she's praying for this to be a bad dream. Then Victor stands, his shadow falling over her. Lily looks up, eyes wide, whispers, "Poppy, I'm scared." And that's when he does it. He grabs her shoulders and shoves her, just like that, into the river. Not a word, not a warning, just a cold, mechanical movement that feels like the world cracking open. Lily vanishes beneath the surface, the splash echoing across the water, and Victor stands there, staring at the ripples like he's waiting for them to smooth out and erase what he's done. But fate had other plans that day. The chestnut horse, who'd been watching the whole thing, lets out this wild, desperate neigh, then charges into the river, muscles bunching, hooves pounding water, the kind of sight you don't forget even if you try. While Lily's sinking, lungs burning, skin freezing, something brushes against her hand she grabs, thinking maybe it's a branch or a rope, but it's warm, alive, the horse's mane. Somehow, some way, she holds on, and thunder, that's what she'll call him, hauls her through the current, head high, eyes blazing with something close to fury. Back on the shore, Victor's panicking now, rowing like a madman, realizing the plan's gone to hell. Yeah, that happened, all because of a horse he never saw coming. On the far bank, an old farmer named Thomas, out feeding chickens at dawn, hears the commotion and bolts down to the river, boots squelching in mud. By the time thunder drags Lily up the bank, Thomas is there, pulling her in his arms, checking for a pulse, and nearly crying with relief when she coughs up water. He scoops her up, murmuring, "You're safe now, little one," wraps her in his coat, and hurries to his weather-beaten farmhouse, thunder trailing behind, dripping and shaking, but never taking his eyes off Lily. Inside, Thomas lays Lily on the couch, layers her with blankets, makes her sweet tea with honey, and lets Thunder stick his big head through the window, watching over her like some storybook guardian. Lily doesn't say a word for hours, just holds her bear and stares at nothing, the kind of silence that says more than any scream. That night, the news is all over town. Lily Mendoza, yeah, I know, Langley's too sharp-edged for a kid like her, is missing after a boating accident. Victor's on TV, crocodile tears, and that fake worried voice, playing the grieving father for every camera in sight. Thomas, watching with his jaw clenched, flips off the screen and mutters, "You saved her, old boy," to Thunder, and means it. Over the next few days, Thomas learns the truth. Lily's mom, Elena, disappeared months back, left behind these weird notes that hinted at danger, like she knew she was in trouble. Lily can't walk, a rare condition, and that left her at Victor's mercy he clearly didn't have. Turns out the whole thing was about money, inheritance, power, the usual poison. But Thomas isn't the kind to walk away from a fight, not with a kid's life at stake. He brings in his neighbor Maria, tough as nails, but soft where it counts, and the three, well, for counting Thunder, become a makeshift family, hiding Lily, protecting her, and quietly building a plan to outsmart Victor. Now, here's where it gets wild. Thunder, who's become Lily's shadow, won't leave her side. Night or day, rain or shine, he's there, head close, always alert. Weeks pass. One night, as Thunder rolls in the field, Lily finally breaks her silence and whispers, "Mama said good people come when you need them most." Thomas just smiles. She sounds smart. "I miss her," Lily says, clutching a silver locket, her mom's photo inside. Thomas promises, "We'll find her." Then, Maria stumbles on a diary in Lily's bag, scribbled full of clues, Elena's handwriting. Stories of a house surrounded by blue butterflies, a secret place only she and Lily know. More, there are pages about Victor's business, how he's laundering money, faked Elena's disappearance, and there's proof hidden in a bank vault in town. With a harvest festival coming up, Thomas, Maria, and Lily hatch a plan. Lily, disguised as Maria's granddaughter, slips into town with them, heart pounding. At the bank, just as they crack the vault, Victor shows up, furious and cornered, but Thunder, yeah, the horse, creates this insane distraction, galloping wild through the festival, sending folks running and giving the trio just enough time to escape with the files. They race to the secret house, a ramshackle cottage surrounded by blue butterflies and wildflowers, and there, standing in the doorway, tears streaming down her face, is Elena. The reunion is a mess of hugs, sobs, and apologies, the kind you only see in movies or wish you could have in real life. Elena explained she had to vanish, to protect Lily, to gather evidence. Victor would have taken everything, and Lily, if she'd stayed. Now, with the files in hand, the police finally have what they need. Victor's arrested, hauled off for fraud, attempted murder, and a whole list of crimes long enough to make your head spin. And just like that, Lily's free. But let me ask you, if you'd been there, what would you have done? Would you trust fate or make your own luck? Because sometimes the ones you least expect, a horse, a farmer, a neighbor, even a scared little girl, can tip the scales. So, if this story grabbed you, if you believe in hope, in wild chances and unexpected heroes, hit that subscribe, drop a comment about what part hit you the hardest, or share your own story. Let's talk about justice, about family, about the kind of world we want to build. Yeah? Now Lily, Elena, Thomas, Maria, and Thunder live in that cottage, the one with the blue butterflies. The place is loud with laughter, smells like fresh bread and apple pie, the kind of spot where scars start to heal. Lily's getting stronger, riding Thunder in the fields, not as a passenger, but as a partner, the way she always dreamed. Elena starts a foundation for families in crisis, paying forward the kindness that saved her own. Thomas and Maria settle in, become the grandparents Lily never had, and Thunder? He's still there, the quiet hero, always watching, always ready. If there's a moral here, maybe it's this. Even on the coldest, darkest mornings, there's hope out there. Sometimes it comes on four hooves. Sometimes it comes from the neighbor next door, and sometimes it comes from a little girl who refuses to give up. So what do you think, folks? Is justice ever simple? Or does it take a village and maybe a miracle to get it done?